Hi there, it's time to use the Wyckoff lens to look at Cardano again. If you're new to my sessions, here are the 3 key items I will cover during the session. So let's start with the weekly chart of Cardano. Here, after 4 weeks of consecutive red candles, we are currently seeing a white one appearing. However, it's still too early to declare whether this is, really the selling climax, because this week's candle has just started and there's still 6 days plus another 7 hours for the candle to develop. So we can't tell whether this is going to end up being red by the end of the week. When we get to the daily chart, we'll be able to see a little bit more. As of now, the big picture remains same. I consider Cardano has entered a new accumulation cycle, right? So that's basically the beginning of something similar to what's on the left. Of course, that particular period during mid-2022, all the way to October 2024, over a year and a half, that particular time was like a hibernation for a lot of altcoins, including Cardano. There was a little climb over here. Those two, I consider those signs of strength. Okay, they were higher than the automatic rally when the price just dropped to the selling climax back in June in 2002, and there was significant rebound over there. Okay, so now we haven't seen that phase yet. So that particular period after the series of price drop, we're still waiting for that to happen. Okay, after the LPSY, we should see some sort of horizontal or sideways trading before the actual selling climax appears. That's a common thing that we usually see. There are exceptions, obviously. Sometimes the market just gone crazy and people panic sell and it drops to the very bottom to start with. Just at a later time, there will be lower tests as well, after certain rebound. Okay, let's move to the daily. Here, we talked about a change in the rate of decline or the downtrend. So I shared last time, or maybe another session before as well, there was a chance for this to break outside of that particular channel. You see this larger white candle that happened, and subsequently, this is continuing back to the downtrend. So it's time to adjust the channel box or the air hockey table. So the trajectory from original steeper after the October 10th, now it starts to get to a more gradual decline. So whenever we've got a new, let's say, rebound, we'll see how high that goes and then adjust the air hockey table or the channel box accordingly, so we can kind of gauge where the trend is heading and where's the next potential chance of breaking outside this channel box. So there is a triangle over here and another triangle over here. This one points to beginning of December, 6th of December. So it's less than 2 weeks from now. So anytime from today till that particular day, there's one chance to break outside of this downward trend. The other chance, if it fails, if this blue intermediate level of around 42 cents fails to defend, okay, then we'll have to hope for mid-December or wait for mid-December when the price comes to challenge the solid blue line, the blue key level of 33 cents. Let me try to show you the prices, if that's not shrinking the price too much. Yeah, the 33 cents line is over here, and this is about 41 cents 50 to 42 cents. Okay, two opportunities, two breakout chances. Okay, back to the Wyckoff tags in the daily. So these tags, if you're new to my session, these are different from the ones that you see from the weekly. So in the weekly, it moves very slowly, and within one or in between two stages in the weekly, there can be an entire cycle in the daily. Okay, this is more experimental, okay, because of the community request. Not that Wyckoff method has been originally designed for a daily time frame, okay? So, the question is, we already talked about the price is heading towards a selling climax. Is the one that we are seeing now the selling climax, okay? After this bit of fluctuation and initial rebound during the preliminary support period, is this eventually the bottom? So, the signs that we have that may potentially be that we're seeing a selling climax, not necessarily the lowest point of this drop. Okay, selling climax. Don't get confused by its name. It doesn't mean the bottom. Okay, even though it's climax, selling climax. So we see quite a bit of buying when the price got below this blue dash line, and then over the course of past 4 days, including today eventually climbed above it. There's still 6 hours left for this to confirm, but all these longer wicks at the bottom indicated there were people willing to come back in at those prices. But yesterday there was a bit of selling around that level, so the signal is still a bit mixed. This one on Friday, November 21st, this higher volume where people bought in from that dip was a good sign. But, like I said, this kind of neutralized that a little. So we have to wait and see the coming candlesticks. If it's white and the volume supports, meaning higher volume than the ones that we currently see, if we draw a line over here in the volume chart, roughly about 2.5 million on average. Okay, that one on the 21st went to about 12.5 million. So those higher volume days matters. All right, whether there are people buying or whether it's only climbing with limited support, that's what we're seeing now for today's candlestick. Even though it's climbing, the volume is way lower than what we saw on Friday. So that's why we're leaving a bit of a question mark here. The 70% can be taken away because it's confirmed that it's heading towards the selling climax already. It's just where the selling climax will end up landing upon, okay? Subsequently, there will be second test and potentially more tests. And the AR, the automatic rally. Previously, we asked the question like, was this still part of the preliminary support, not the selling climax itself over there? And it now is confirmed. So the automatic rally has to wait for a little longer after the selling climax is confirmed. Alright, so that's for Cardano. Yeah, it's different from a little bit of other altcoins where quite a number of altcoins have been in their accumulation for a large part of 2025. And for Cardano, it's just starting. It doesn't mean it has to wait very long. Sometimes it can be a quick accumulation and then the next distribution will begin. Let's wait and see for how many weeks Cardano will have to sit in the accumulation area or the accumulation cycle this time. Thanks for joining me. See you in the next session.